Hello and welcome to my tutorial on Chapter 6, Radical Expressions and Functions. First, we are going to be doing Lesson 6-1's Operations on Functions. The first problem, f plus g, where f of x equals 2x plus 1 and g of x equals 4x plus 3. To add these together, we must first substitute the f for 2x plus 1 and substitute the g for 4x plus 3. When you add these all together, you should get 6x plus 4, which is your final answer. Next, we are going to be doing f divided by g, where f of x equals 2x plus 1 and g of x equals 4x plus 3. First, you have to substitute f for 2x plus 1 and g for 4x plus 3. Next, you have to solve these, which where x cannot equal 3/4. Next, we are going to be doing Chapter 6-2, the inverse of functions and relations. We have to find the inverse of these functions shown. First, y equals 4x minus 5. We first have to substitute the y in the 4 till we get x equals 4y minus 5. Next, we have to add the 5 onto this side, getting x plus 5 equals 4y, where we finally have to divide x plus 5 by 4 and isolate the y to get x plus 5 over 4 equals y. Next, we will be doing y equals 2x plus 3 divided by 5. First, we have to again substitute the y for the x, getting us x equals 2y plus 3 over 5. Next, we have to multiply the x by 5, removing the fraction, giving us 5x equals 2y plus 3. Then subtract the 3 from both sides. 5x minus 3 equals 2y, and finally dividing it by 2, leaving us with y equals 5x minus 3 divided by 2 for our final answer. Next, we will be doing Chapter 6-3, square root of functions and inequalities. We first have to identify the domain and range of these two functions. To get the domain, we have to make sure that x plus 4 can't equal 0, because the square root can never equal 0. So if x plus 4 has to be greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, meaning x has to be greater than or equal to negative 4 after you subtract the 4 from both sides, leaving us with negative 4 infinity. Of course, there is no range, so the range would just be 0, infinity, since there is no y shown. Next, for f of x equals the square root of x plus 6 plus 2, we have to find the domain, which would be x greater than or equal to -6, giving us -6 infinity, and the range, which would have to be y greater than or equal to 2 because of the plus 2, giving us 2, infinity. Next, we will be doing chapter 6-4 and 6-6, the nth roots and rational exponents. We have to find the square root. Simplify this expression. The index of 5 is the square root of 243, a to the 20th power, b to the 25th. First, we have to find what the square root of 5th to the 243 is, which is 3. Then the exponents, which would just be dividing, a to the 4th, b to the 5th. Next, we will be moving on to chapter 6-5, operations with radical expressions, where we'll be simplifying this expression. First, we have to split this into 16 x to the 8th, then 2, split this into 4x to the 4th, 4x to the 4th. These are both the same, leaving us with 4x to the 4th, 2, which is your final answer. Finally, we will be moving on to chapter 6-7, solving radical equations and inequalities, where we will have to solve both of these equations. The first thing you're going to want to do for 6 plus square root of 3x plus 1 is subtract the 6 from both sides, leaving you with the square root of 3x plus 1 equals 5. Next, we will square both sides to get rid of the square root, leaving with 3x plus 1 equals 25. Then next, you will have to subtract 1 from this side, from both sides, giving you 24 equals 3x. And then finally, you have to divide 3 by both sides, giving you x equals 8. Next, to do the square root of 2t minus 7 equals the square root of t plus 2. You will square both sides to get rid of the square roots, giving you 2t minus 7 equals t plus 2, where you will then subtract this t from both sides. T minus 7 equals 2. Then add the 7 to both sides, leaving you with t equals 9 as your final answer. Thank you for watching and have a great day.